Welcome back to another edition of the NerdFlow. As always, I am joined by my lovely hosts, Janko
Hey guys.
and Jai.
Why did I go second when in alphabetical order I'd go before him?
This is true.
Jay.
Makes sense why I go first, but maybe you're in the doghouse
No.
because you were late.
Maybe we just move on from it and we get to the next show.
All right, we will move straight into it today because I'm actually really excited for today's episode.
Mhm.
I was having a discussion with somebody the other day about like different iconic Aussie foods, and this was, of course, a discussion that was shared over a good old sausage roll, which is one of those things that, I mean, other countries do them, but we just do them better, I think.
Yeah.
And that got me thinking, there's so many different iconic Aussie foods, but what is the top one? And I mean, I have some opinions, I have some thoughts, but I figured a better way to do it was get a list of them, and I got a list of 24 of them, put them together, and we have a fight to the death, as they say, a tournament to crown the most iconic Aussie snack / food / thing of all time. How does that sound, fellas?
I didn't realize this was going to be tournament related.
Yeah.
We got a tournament on our hands, so let's kick. Oh, I'm hungry. I'm starving now, especially for our first two contestants. So we've got 24 contestants in this. It is broken down into 1 versus 1.
Yep.
So that means at the semifinals, it'll probably be a 1 versus 1 versus 1 situation, leading to a 1 versus 1 in the finals. And I guess the only rule is it is a majority vote. So 3 of us here.
Yep.
And 2 out of 3 moves it on to the next bracket, single elimination, and then we will crown the winner. So, in our first bracket, we have caramello koalas and sausage rolls.
Oh, you bastard.
This was randomized. I did not do this. This was randomized and I took it out. But like, these are two like top tier. These are two that could vie for the crown straight off. And we're going to lose one straight up. And it's such a difficult choice. I have a massive sweet tooth. I love caramello koalas. If you gave me a bag of caramello koalas, I would just eat the shit out of them.
Yep.
But sausage rolls, man. Going to the bread shop and getting a sausage roll. Party sausage rolls in the oven.
So you said sausage roll and not sausage snag, right? So we're talking about the pastry sausage. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. We're not talking sausage sizzle. We're talking sausage roll.
Yes.
I don't know if that makes it any better for me. But definitely puts my head in a different space.
And are we when we say sausage roll, are we like just generalizing? Because you know how you can get some like good ones, and then you can get like the party ones that you had when we were all in friggin' primary school type sausage rolls. So
which might be better.
Like I said, if you gave me a plate of 24 of those bad boys, they're all going.
Yeah.
Especially if you got like the squeezy master food sauce. I think that just adds. That's like the best tomato sauce you can get for anything. So this is a hard one. And like I said, I love caramello koalas. Because that's true. You're going to pay 30 cents for the sauce? No, you can
get out of the country.
Get rid of it.
The thing about master sauce foods things for people who don't know from other countries is they squirt.
Yeah, our sauce is a bit of a squirter down under. So
pinch it and it loves to squirt.
Yeah.
So I think we're giving a lot of love to the sausage roll here, but caramello koalas, man, like.
I want to give an argument.
Okay.
Caramello koalas had the best 90s TV ad.
Oh yeah, holy shit,
100%.
They call me Caramello.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my god,
that's still stuck in my head, and I am years old, and it's still kind of there. A bad sausage roll is a bad sausage roll. A bad sausage roll makes you question your life because a sausage roll is just carbs and fat, and you bite a bad one, and you're like.
Have you ever gone to a bakery and had one of those ones that they like haven't warmed up properly and it's like stale and old?
Yeah. Yep.
That happens a lot. You do get the really good ones, and I think the really good ones are fantastic.
Yeah.
But have you ever been let down by a caramello koala?
No.
I think they've changed a bit. I don't know if it's because I'm older, but they feel like the caramello koalas now, they don't taste as sweet. I don't know if it's the chocolate's different or something. They do taste a little bit different to me these days. I just don't know if it's a adult thing though, so not too sure. They feel like they've changed.
You might be right, or maybe we've just worn down all the enamel on our teeth. Enamel, that's a good word. On our teeth, and we're kind of like, oh, but you're not wrong. But at the same time, and I got to say this, and this just ties perfectly well. I'm going away to the Hunter Valley on the weekend. There is a place that does homemade pies and sausage rolls. They do a sausage roll with jalapenos and cheese. It literally melts in your mouth. And that is my cheat meal. I've been on a strict diet for a fortnight now, and I'm like, can't wait to have that fucking sausage roll. So I don't feel that way about caramello koalas.
Yeah. I feel as well that sausage rolls are slightly more iconic than caramello koalas are. I feel like caramello koalas are a very insular Australian snack, whereas sausage rolls have global appeal.
Yeah.
And we just do it better. That's the thing, too.
Yeah. So I hate to do this because I love caramello koalas so much.
Same.
But
yeah.
I think it goes to the sausage roll in this first bracket.
I think it has to. And we're going to look at every other chocolate in this bracket, and we're going to think about the caramel koala, and we're going to be like, you stood where he should be standing.
Probably. Caramello koala, I'm surprised, eliminated in the first round. Yep. Wow. So sausage roll moves on. As we move on to our next bracket, it's another stiff bracket. This is completely randomized.
Randomized? Okay. Yep.
Lamingtons versus Pavlova.
Oh, this is interesting.
I've already got my answer.
This is one that...
So do I.
But it's one of those ones where you have to be in the mood for it, and they're both mood treats. Yeah, they're both mood treats, but at the same time, I think that I'm tasting them both in my mouth right now. I think it has to be a pavlova, right?
Really?
If you get a good pavlova with the passion fruit seasoning on top.
See, I'm a bit of a late convert to pavlova. I was never the type to have like fruits mixed in with dessert things for a long time, and only recently have I been sort of exploring that side of my palate. So I do like a good pavlova, but Lamingtons have always been there for me.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a kid. Get a little pack of those Lamington fingers and just down that whole bad boy.
Yeah, with me, I will get deported. I do not like pavlova.
Huh.
Interesting.
Just like straight up do not enjoy it.
What don't you like about it?
The texture, the you just said it, the passion fruit on top. No.
Pavlova at Christmas is so refreshing though. But at the same time, and you say that, I've had Lamingtons out of the fridge before, which is not normally how you do it. Have you ever bit into a cold Lamington when the cream in the middle is cold? That is with the coconut. Lamington is like coconut jam and cream.
There'll be pictures on the screen for everybody.
Or jelly for you Americans. So to give it an idea.
Yeah. It's just this nice spongy thing coated in this weird chocolatey thing and rolled in coconut, and it's absolutely delicious. It tastes like eating a cloud.
Yep. And it's always... It's moist enough that it never feels dry. And even if it does feel dry, you got the jam and the cream in there. And you're right. And like I said, I'm picturing the last time I had a Lamington was out of the fridge on a hot day, and I bit into it. I'm like, oh. And while I like pavlova, I can always pass. But like, you get a beer in me on Christmas Day, and they're like, you want a Lamington? I'm like, oh, Lamington.
I'll never say no to a Lamington. I think we've got a majority vote here, whichever way you swing, because I'm going Lamington personally. So Lamington moves on to the second round. And we move on to bracket number 3. This has an absolute icon of Aussie things in here.
Yep.
It has Zappos.
Oh, okay.
Versus Milo.
I have my answer, but I talked first last time, so I'm surrendering my time to you two gentlemen. Janko, you look like you have something to say. Do you?
Do you?
Yeah, well, let's have a look. Like, Milo has been a part of my life way longer than Zappos. Zappos, I I remember eating Zappos, I think, like in high school, like for me. Like I think that's like the first time I had Zappos, I'm pretty sure. And they're like 20 cents or something, or 50 cents.
Back when food was affordable.
Currently starving. So like back, the Milo has just always been there. Like I remember, like as a kid, it was always great. It was there. You could have it cold, and you have like really chilled milk, and then you like crispy bits of Milo on top, and it's so good. And then in like winter, and you're like, even like when you got like a bit of a sore throat, you're feeling a bit sick, you have like that warm Milo and it dissolves, and it just like invigorates you. So Milo as an all rounder, I think, is getting my vote. I've just always enjoyed Milo.
I feel like Zappos very much are a nostalgia thing for me, whereas Milo, it's something that has transitioned from childhood to adulthood really well, because you could have it as a kid, you could have it as a teenager, you could have it as an adult, you can have it elderly, you can have it when you die. Like cremate me and mix Milo in my urn with my ashes.
Can't wait to drink that.
That'd be the tastiest death ever. So Milo just to me feels more iconic as well. You see that green tin, nothing else stands out like it on the shelves.
I want to be an Olympian.
I think Milo is the way to go. But Jai?
Janko wants to be an Olympian and punch a microphone. You know what? I was about to say, fuck you guys for all that. But because I was Team Zappo, especially great Team Zappo. That is the best. They're the best. But you know what's turned the tide? Because I went off Milo. I probably haven't had pure Milo in about 6 years. But Milky Way released a Milky Way Milo combo bar.
Yes.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay.
Yes. Now, I'm not a chocolate guy. I can eat 2 bits of chocolate and put the rest away for another week. I don't have the habit. I have that. I eat the whole bar. It's the texture because you bite into it. With the Milky Way, it's the Milky Way. You get the crunch. It's Milo. It's like I have to go Milo. I was not going to go Milo, but when you were talking, I was like, wait a minute. The Milky Way Milo combo.
Yeah. And you've got the Kit Kat Chunky with Milo as well. Like, I think Milo is just too versatile.
And plus, you can't do a dry challenge with a Zappo, but you can shove a shit ton of Milo in your mouth and just see what happens. In fact, everyone at home, I don't.
don't
shot of Milo.
It's Tide Pods all over again. So Milo moves on to round 2 as we move into bracket number 4, Dunkaroos versus Bunnings Snags. Now, for somebody who has never had a Bunnings Snag, sometimes known as a sausage sizzle here, it's just a piece of white bread with a barbecued sausage on it, with some onion, some sauce. You can get tomato sauce, you can get mustard, you can get barbecue sauce. Costs like $2.50. Prices have probably gone up to the point where it's $5 now. Get it on Saturday when you go to
they're
Bunnings.
still cheap.
They're still cheap.
Yeah, they're still cheap. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
And you just bite into it.
Yep.
And it is just a little slice of Australian heaven every single time. They never, ever let you down.
Yeah.
Humble Bunnings Snag.
I used to work there, and whenever they start cooking, like on the weekends, and you just like smell it, you just know when they're starting, and you can smell the onion, you smell the oil, you smell the deliciousness just wafting through the air, like no matter where you are in the store, and you just can't resist. Like I've like honestly gone to Bunnings like on the weekend to get some like gardening stuff. I've had breakfast, and then I'm walking out with my gardening stuff, and there's just 2 snags in my hand. Like I don't even recall buying them. They just appear. It's like, oh, mad sort of thing. Like you just buy them.
There are 2 kinds of people in this world: people that buy a Bunnings Snag when they go to Bunnings, and liars.
Yes.
So my question is, who is Bunnings Snags cucking at the moment? Because I even forget the other entry.
Dunkaroos, which I feel like they're not even really an Aussie thing.
They're American. I looked it up.
Are they really?
I looked it up earlier today. Dunkaroos are an American snack that Australia's just like, oh, yeah, no, they're ours. Yeah. No, they're an American snack that we were all fucking tricked to as a kid.
Get your fucking cultural appropriation out of here. Dunkaroos, get the hell out of the building. Bunnings Snag is moving on.
So did the Americans like actually market it over there as a kangaroo? So it's still a kangaroo over there.
Dunkaroos, they still sell them. Wow. It's like Foster's. It's kind of like, do we have it in Australia? Yeah. Does anyone have it? No.
I have seen a Foster's once, and I'm pretty sure it was there for the irony. So that's Bunnings snag all the way. All right.
That was easy.
We got our second chocolate coming up with Freddo Frogs.
Oh, okay.
Versus Anzac biscuits.
No, that's just easy decision.
Oh, is that right? What's the easy decision?
Yeah, Anzac biscuits, 100%.
Why?
100%. They're just truly an iconic and delicious biscuit. Like there's just something about an Anzac biscuit. It's got that crumbliness, the crispiness, the flavor,
the golden syrup
in
it as well just makes such a difference. I do agree with that.
It's just there's so much going on. It's very iconic. It's very memorable being an Anzac biscuit. And then you've got
historical significance as well.
Then you've got the Freddo Frog, which is just...
no. I'll stop you there. How often in your life can you say you've bitten the head off a frog?
That's pretty funny. Well,
whenever you eat a Freddo Frog, how do you eat it?
You don't eat it
from
ass
the bottom.
First.
Yeah, you don't like to eat ass.
I do. I save the best for last. You prudes. You start with head, you eat the ass last. That's how it started.
I don't remember Freddo Frogs tasting like pennies. So, Jai, are you on the side of the Freddo Frog here, or are you on the side of the Anzac biscuit? Because quite honestly,
I honestly think I'm just on the side of eating ass at this point. So, majority rules. If you two both pick the same one, I'm like, I'm just going to eat ass out here. Like, that's what it's going to be at the end of the day. So if you guys are like Anzac biscuits, I'm going to be like, froggy boy. Like,
fair enough. I do agree Anzac biscuits are great. But the homemade Anzac biscuits, absolutely fantastic. My mum makes the best Anzac biscuits all the time. Mm-hmm. But have you ever had a pack of those really stale, shitty Coles ones or Woolies ones?
They're like, unfortunately, yes.
They're like sacrilegious. Yeah. So if you go the homemade Anzac biscuit, I think the Anzac biscuit wins every time. But the prevalence of low quality ones, I think, does disservice to the Anzac biscuit. Whereas Freddo Frog is just old, reliable, always.
To go against myself though, a store-bought Anzac biscuit is just like, the free porn on Pornhub versus,
the premium shit. Yeah.
The OnlyFans stuff you pay for thinking it's going to be better, but it's just the same and you've just wasted money.
Yeah.
Not really. You didn't waste money. If you like them, you like them.
So do I have the deciding vote here between Freddo Frogs and Anzac biscuits? Biscuits?
No, I'm going to agree. I love Freddo Frogs. But because Anzac biscuits only come around a certain time of year, there's a certain specialness to it. It's kind of like, it's almost like you got the post-Christmas blues, and then you remember that all those soldiers died, and they made a delicious biscuit in memory of them. And there's something about the blood on the soil, about that biscuit, that is just so special.
I have to agree there. Anzac biscuits are more iconic than Freddo Frogs, so I think that is a unanimous decision.
Yeah.
I think you swept over what I said, but let's move on. Jai's out here talking about blood biscuits and eating ass. We need to get to the next category.
The next category, one of the biscuits does look like it might have some blood on it, but it's actually jam because it is an iced Vovo. Ooh. Okay. And it goes against something that isn't just one food. It is a collection. It is the entity known as the tradies breakfast. And for those that don't know what a tradies breakfast is, it is a sausage roll or a pie from a servo or gas station or petrol station or whatever you want to call it, an energy drink, a dare iced coffee, and a cigarette. They are the key components to a tradies breakfast. All of those. And I think part of the design of the tradies breakfast, especially with the dare iced coffee, is that 10 minutes into your shift, you're going to shit yourself and you're going to be sitting on a portaloo for 30 minutes. Yeah. So, iced Vovos versus tradies breakfast.
I got to say real quick, I've never had an iced Vovo.
Oh. Really?
No, I've never ate an iced Vovo before. So
I have.
I don't know what to expect.
I have as well.
You mean Janko, the Australian, hasn't had the Australian biscuit?
God, the very Australian name. Yeah, yeah, mate.
So keep a watch on the channel for the day where we make Janko try an iced Vovo.
Yeah, right.
Look, they're good, but they always came in an assorted packet, and I always went the shortbread biscuits first.
Yep.
Followed by the chocolate version of them. I can't remember what they're called.
The Monte Carlos or whatever.
Monte Carlo, Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
They were good, but they weren't good dunked in tea. And as a kid, you go around to your nan and pop's place. They give you tea, you get biscuits. Shortbread always goes well. They didn't. Now, tradies breakfast. Now, I'm not a smoker at all, but I appreciate people that take up smoking, drinking way too much coffee just to get more breaks at work. Because you get assigned breaks at work, but if you're a smoker, wahoo! You get breaks. An extra 5-minute breaks.
Oh.
And look, you're double dipping with the smoke break and the shit break that you need to take from having a day iced coffee. So to me, the tradies breakfast is more iconic than the iced Vovo.
Yeah, you just got to separate them. You got to have your dare and your meat pie first. You shit yourself out for half an hour. Then you come back in an hour. You have your energy drink and you smoke. And then you shit again.
Yep.
And then voila.
You finally start work. Yeah.
you get paid to poop.
Yeah.
And isn't that, at the end of the day, the true Aussie dream?
Now, anyone who's watching this that goes to the bathroom during their rest time, don't.
Yeah, don't.
The rest time is for you, for work health and safety, to get up and stretch. Poop on your own time.
Yes.
Poop on your own
PSA
time.
By the NerdFlow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that rounds out the first half of our bracket. So now we move on to the second half of the bracket. Again, with another Aussie icon. 2 Aussie icons, actually, I should say. The humble meat pie versus Zupa Dupas.
Okay. First, are Zupa Dupas an Australian brand? Like, definitely
the
Australian?
brand Super Duper is, I think, it's either Australian, English, or Kiwi. It's definitely one of the three because they're called icy poles or ice poles in the US. So they're definitely
some kind of frozen.
If they're UK, they're us. We're the convicts of them.
Yeah.
So
true. Yep. And then you have the pie on the other hand.
Because the pie's not Australian either, but we do it right at the same time.
We really do.
Yeah.
Meat pies right. Like, I think a meat pie is just such a classic, iconic Aussie food. I love Zupa Dupas, especially during summer. Like, get a whole bag of, like, however many come in a bag. It's like 400 of them in a bag. They sit in the freezer
for $2
for 17 years.
Yep.
Everybody has their flavors that they love. Personally, I'm a big fan of the green flavor and the orange flavor.
Yep.
But it's the meat pie. Again, it goes back to the whole sausage roll thing and the master food squirter sauce.
Yep. That
on a meat pie is you're set. You can take on the world when you've got that.
Yeah, Zupa Dupas are great. You got the really just like that sort of, they're seasonal, I'd say, Zupa Dupas. Where a meat pie is like, you go to the footy, you grab a meat pie. Go on a road trip, grab a meat pie. Feeling hungry, you grab a meat pie. Grab a meat pie.
You grab
a meat pie. So, you know what I mean? So it's an all round. You have it in the summer, the winter, whenever you want. It's always there, ready to go.
Now, I agree, but I want to say something. And it's going to come across disturbing. And you can judge me if you want, because I feel free to be judged on this. One thing I like to do with Super Dupas, I like to get them at about the 3-inch mark, bite them off, and swallow them whole on a hot day. Because you get the icy pole stuck slowly down your throat, and I feel it actually cool down my whole throat at the same time. It's a weird thing I do. It's a choking hazard. Do not do it at home. I did not recommend it. I do it. I'm weird. I understand that. I like meat pies.
I'm just glad you didn't say that you deep throat the Zupa Dupa.
Well, you can't, because they've got the edges on them that make you look like Heath Ledger as the Joker. So
that sounds like a man who has tried.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Meat pies, moving
Meat pies
on.
wins.
That was a pretty easy one. And we go to another absolute icon of Australian snack foods, the humble Tim Tam, versus something that I feel like didn't originate as an Aussie food, but has now become synonymous with our culture. Especially if you're trying to buy a house. Smashed avo.
Oh, I feel like we're like 6 years too old to appreciate one of these things.
My opinion is, again, I think the smashed avo in general is again, it's seasonal. If you get a bad avocado, it's shit. If you buy them too early, you have to wait, 4 weeks, and then you just starve to death anyway. And you get something else. Whereas Tim Tams are always there. They're always ready to go.
You can buy both ends of a Tim Tam, get a glass of milk, and make a chocolate milkshake. You can get a mud shake or a Bailey's and make an alcoholic version yourself.
Yep.
Tim Tams are I think they're the Australian chocolate, right?
Yeah, 100%.
They're the ones when Americans come down. Like, you may give them a caramello koala, you may give them a frog, you give them Tim Tams though.
Yes.
Tim Tams are known the worldwide. I was in Japan and I spent like 1,200 yen on a pack of Tim Tams because I was feeling homesick and down the entire packet in like a sitting.
Yeah, people
I'm not
take
going to
them
do that with smashed avo.
Yeah, people take them as gifts overseas.
Yes.
To give like their family overseas Tim Tams. Everyone hears about them and how great they are.
You don't go up to people and go, here's green butter. You need to cut it in half and rip the seed out.
And with smashed avo as well, according to the government, if you buy it once, you will never be able to afford a house.
Damn it.
And that's why I got a home loan, because I'm allergic to avocado, and that is the only reason I got approved for my home loan.
All makes sense.
I've had smashed avo before in my life, so it means I'm doomed to rent forever. But Tim Tams are moving on.
Yep.
As we are moving on to our next part of the bracket, we have shapes, specifically the pizza flavored shapes.
Yep.
Versus milk bar chips. Now, I'm talking not ones that come in a cup, not ones that come in a box. I'm talking about the ones that come on a roll of butcher's paper all wrapped up. And they're sold by the scoop. They don't have an actual size. It's just how many scoops of chips do you want on that? The classic milk bar chips.
Is there chicken salt on them?
Yes.
Chicken
salt, another thing that I found out nowhere
Australian.
else in the world does.
Yeah,
it's a very Australian
it's
thing.
ridiculous. Yeah.
I wish it was on that list, but I mean, it kind of makes an appearance with the chips.
If you want to picture chicken salt, imagine getting your chips that you eat in your country and adding LSD to them.
Yeah.
Because it is like, if you ever watch a Futurama episode where they're like, oh, the secret ingredient is just LSD, that's chicken salt. It's like putting crack on chips. It's
literally
ridiculous.
Yes. It's just
or fries.
Level.
Sorry, fries.
Yes. Yeah. Fuck. What was the other contestant?
Pizza shapes.
I got so distracted by the chicken salt and chips. Well, the pizza shapes.
Pizza shape is a good. The weird thing about a pizza shape is it can almost be refreshing in a way, because it is.
Yeah. It's light.
Yeah, it's light, but with a shit ton of flavor. Think of Rice Krispie kind of treat, but with the flavor of a Dorito, like the power of a flavor of a Dorito and a Rice Krispie treat.
Yeah.
But it's got the Rice Krispie treat refreshingness, but it actually does taste like a pizza bagel. Like it's kind of unreal. Like, in fact, a fun story. Ali, my wife, went over to America early this year, and her brother, who's lived there for 14 years now, he requested 4 boxes of pizza shapes because that's the limit she could put in her carry-on. Because he just hasn't had them.
Yeah. That's fair. I think both are very much iconic things, but milk bar chips, man, you can't beat that.
Yeah, especially if they're just that slightly bit oily. You know, when you see some of them, they're a bit soft, and then you see that one chip that's almost transparent but brown at the same time. You're like,
yeah. When it adds the grease to the paper, where you're worried about putting it on like the tablecloth,
you can see through the paper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is this a unanimous one for milk bar chips?
Look, I don't want to be as unanimous, so you know what? I'm going to give pizza shapes their due. Because I think it's worthwhile of them not losing unanimously, because you can sometimes get the chips too oily and it ruins it.
I'm saying milk bar chips. I love pizza shapes, don't get me wrong, but you could put 10 metric tons of milk bar chips in front of me and I will just open my mouth and gorge myself to death.
But sometimes you do get them, and it doesn't taste like chip; it tastes like oil, and that it is my one. True. Yeah. But it's not all the time. And if you get a good fish and chip shop, they're going to make them the same every time. Yeah, so it's all about finding the location. So yes, pizza shapes are always going to taste like pizza shapes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't think I've ever had bad pizza shapes.
Yeah. But at the same time, you can have some bad chips, but it's actually hard to make them bad.
Yeah.
It's not like you need to find a good place. It's just you need to find a place that's not shit.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So
Janko, you got the deciding vote.
So with all that in thought, the way I'm deciding my pick, because it's very difficult, is the consistency of one particular product, and it's going to be the pizza shapes for me.
Ooh!
Mm-hmm. I feel like that is our first upset. That's the first time I've seen something that I think is 100% going in and isn't. So pizza shapes.
You know, the more we talked about the chips, it's like, chips. I was like, oh yeah, but I've had some oily ones before that were bad.
Yeah,
and then I was like, oh fuck, a pizza shape. You're like, someone offers you at work, you're like, refreshing.
I will consume pizza shapes. So again, it's one of those things where you open them up and I'll have a couple while I'm watching a video, and then you're at the bottom where it's just the flavor. Have we forgotten about that?
The thing up and then licking the flavor on the inside.
Yes. You put your finger in the packet and then you get the nothing but pizza shaped finger and you just devour that. Have you not done that before?
See, I put it on a mirror and I chop it up and line it up a bit. But anyway.
Let's move on to our next part of the bracket. We have Nobby's Nuts versus Chico Rolls.
Chico Roll.
I'm not a fan of Chico Rolls.
I think I'm the deciding factor here because I like both equally. Hey,
see, before you think that you're deciding factor, I'm not a fan of Chico Rolls. I'm also not really a nut guy. Both of these are kind of like, to me. So I could swing either way.
Yeah, but
fresh chicken roll with the chicken salt on it. Oh man!
You know what? Nuts are nuts, and Nobby's nuts are no better than any other salted peanut. Chicken roll.
Chicken roll.
Nobby's nuts may be 5% better, but they're not that much better.
I think I would have to agree with chicken roll. If I was going to go for something, I wouldn't go for nuts. I would probably go a chicken roll and try it again. Maybe my palate has evolved.
God, I'm sorry.
All right. Moving on to the next part of the bracket. Now, I have some very strong opinions about this next part.
Okay.
Good. I can't wait to dispute them.
On one hand, we have shower beers, which isn't really a snack. It's more of a lifestyle.
Okay.
On the other hand, we have arguably the biggest icon in Australia since Kieran Perkins. That was the first Olympian that I could think of. I don't know why.
You couldn't say Ray Bradley or Ray Gunn?
Too many Rays. Vegemite toast. Now, before you guys say anything, I'm probably going to lose my Australian citizenship here because I hate Vegemite. I do not like Vegemite. I had tried it when I was a kid, didn't like it. Yep. Tried it again recently as an adult, and I was like, it's okay, but it's really not my thing. For those that don't know what Vegemite is, it is literally a waste byproduct made from brewing beer that they add a shit ton of salt to. It's yeast extract, and it's our version of something that we couldn't get after World War I in Marmite because the soldiers ate all the Marmite for some reason. So then we were like, oh, we better make our own version of something of a country's cuisine that is known for their culinary talents and their spices, Britain. And then now we have Vegemite.
Yeah. So
that being said, Vegemite is more iconic and Vegemite is my vote.
All I'm hearing from you is I don't like eating ass, and I'm making it really well known to everyone because I'm going to let Dak Janko take the floor because I have a very strong opinion coming up.
Yeah. I'm the same. I've tried it, don't like it.
Okay.
That's it.
My opinion is I love getting a cracker or one of those wafers, putting Vegemite on it, putting cheese on it and eating 4 of them. And you know why I like doing that? Because I've had 5 fucking shower beers before it. I will only eat Vegemite if I'm drinking.
So you go from liquid Vegemite to fucking Vegemite.
Yes. I when I have yeast, I'm like, yeast.
I need more yeast.
Yeast.
So, is that 2 votes there for shower beers?
If I'm not having the shower beers, I'm not having the Vegemite.
It's weird because, Vegemite is so iconic, but it's one of those things that you have foreign friends and they ask you to buy them Vegemite and then they eat it by the spoonful and do it wrong. So I know how to eat it correct. I just don't like it. But then shower beer, I think everyone shower beers, right?
Yeah,
in other countries do. Yeah.
I think it's a universal thing. I don't think it's like uniquely Aussie.
But it's considered okay here. It's like, and you might need to beep this, but it's like the word cunt.
Yes.
It's okay to say that in Australia, but if I go overseas, when I go to Germany or America, they're like, oh, you say cunt, right? I'm like, yes, I do. So I think that's like drinking beers in the shower in other countries is like a shameful act. Drinking. We have VB body wash in Australia.
That is true. Yep.
This is true.
Interesting.
I personally think Vegemite toast is more iconic. As much as I hate it, I can't dispute its iconic status. Do love a good shower beer, though.
But if I'm going to eat one or the other in the shower, I'll tell you which one's going to go down better.
This is true. Janko, I think you're the deciding factor here.
I'm going to go with the one I enjoy, and that's shower beers.
Vegemite toast, possibly the front runner, the number 1 seed in the tournament, knocked out in the first round by shower beers. This tournament is wide open as we move into the last part of the initial round. This has a golden daytime versus something that I don't think I've ever had nor seen, servo sushi. Who the fuck snuck this in here?
Okay, I've got a story about this. I put servo sushi in here because you're watching this on YouTube or you're listening to this podcast. You ever heard of Uncle Roger? I went and saw Uncle Roger live, and he was doing his skit. He's like, who there likes servo sushi? I was the only person in the crowd that cheated. He's like, why do you do that to yourself? And I said, because I'm white. He's like, just because you're white doesn't mean you need to subject yourself to that. Yes, it does. Because I get afraid to go up to a sushi stand sometimes because there's too much variety. I go into the servo. It's teriyaki chicken roll. I'm like, that looks like it's sushi. I eat it. It's warm. It's gross. But I get my kick. I don't get any wasabi, though. That is the down point. What was the other contestant?
The other contestant was what is winning, which is the gay time. Are we in agreement here, Janko?
Yep.
Gay time moves on.
All right. You guys can have a gay time.
Love a gay old time.
Don't we all? All right. So that is the end of the initial bracket. So now we are going into the quarterfinals here, and we will kick it off with the sausage roll versus the Lamington.
I already know an answer.
Is it sausage roll?
It's sausage roll. I'm not saving out a cheat day for a Lamington. Lamington you have once a year around whatever fucking time Lamington's popular. I can't even remember at the moment.
I feel like Lamingtons are a thing that are around and you have one, but it's like very rare to seek a Lamington. Yes. Whereas
I consider Lamingtons like fruits mince pies, right? I love a fruit mince pie. And I love a Lamington. But I'm sitting here right now going, I'm having a sausage roll on Sunday.
If you go on a long drive and you got to stop at the servo, you're not getting yourself a Lamington. You're getting yourself a bloody sausage roll.
Yeah.
And they sell them. They both sell them. Yep. It's always the sausage rolls that are gone. You're like, I got to get the fucking spinach and veggie one.
You have to get the iconic flakes all over you in the car.
You need to make a mess with it. It's the sausage roll. That's
Mrs. Mac can sit on my lap any day.
For those who know, they know. I don't think
those who don't know.
All right, so moving on to the next round, it is Milo versus the Bunnings snag.
Ooh, okay.
Interesting.
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
Two incredibly iconic Australian foods.
Look, interesting. Think, you know what? What might be the deciding factor? Have you ever gone to Bunnings wanting a Bunnings snag and they don't have it?
Yes, especially on a Sunday where you're like, "Hey Goobo, where's the snag?"
Yeah, it's Sunday. Gonna go get a fucking whippersnipper or something, and you just want to get a Bunnings snag afterwards after you've done your shop. But you go there and there's no smell. Is there anything more heartbreaking?
I'm going to say something hilarious right now. I said, "Hey Goobo, where's the snag?" And my Google goes, "I don't know. Maybe just ask something else." So
fair. Thankfully, mine didn't because I have headphones on. That is true about the Bunnings snag.
Yeah, you're right.
But if I had to reach for something, if I had the option of having Bunnings snag or having a Milo, I'm probably going to pick the snag 9 times out of 10.
You're right. And
like even on a cold winter's night where you just want a nice warm cup of Milo, even accompanied with a Tim Tams to slam it with, I would still go, oh, if there was a Bunnings snag here right now, I'd probably go that first.
And I tried to have an argument going because I like mustard, and they normally don't do mustard, but they'll always do the tomato sauce. Yeah, but and the onion, they always do the onion right. But you know what happens when I want a snag? I go, here you go, champ. The Milo never calls me champ. The Milo just sits there going, scoop me out, bitch.
This is true. You're going to have to stir me for 3 minutes to dissolve me properly.
Yeah.
And there's still going to be chunks in me.
If you've never had Milo, you could put it in a blender for 5 minutes. It still will not completely dissolve.
It's got the consistency of concrete.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bit of fun to it.
Delicious concrete. Don't get me wrong. It's great on ice cream.
100% vanilla ice cream with Milo. And when it turns all soupy and stuff, fantastic.
And in the
I'd still reach for the snag.
Yeah, because I just love putting like long meat in my mouth. And I think that's just the most satisfying thing at the end of the day because like you look at someone who has stuffed their face with meat and they're just happy. Doesn't matter who they are.
This is true.
And then they get a snag afterwards. And it's, it's amazing.
This is true. Is this unanimous again for Bunnings snag?
Yeah, it has to be.
I think the actual consumption of it does outweigh that one time you don't get it because you just look forward to it so much more, and then once you get it,
especially when you're a kid and you've been dragged to Bunnings, you don't want to go to Bunnings, but suddenly, oh my god, sausage.
And then you turn into an adult and you're suddenly like, I really do want to go to Bunnings. And they have snags. And I have adult money.
It's a good way of spending a Sunday morning and getting a sausage, other than the other way of spending a Sunday morning and getting a sausage. If you know, you know.
To each their own. Who knows?
We're a diverse podcast.
Moving on to the next bracket.
So Bunnings snags wins, yes.
Bunnings snag wins there. We have the Anzac biscuit versus the tradies breakfast.
I think if it wasn't for the Anzacs, there would be no tradies breakfast. Would all be dirty commies eating like fucking bread and rat soup in the gulag. I'm pretty sure that's what would have happened if World War One went that way. But there's just something iconic about it.
How was your last trip home to the motherland, Janko?
Fantastic.
Rat soup and gulag. Sleeper agent.
Don't say the word and I won't get activated.
Did you poison the Anzac biscuits?
Best thing is no one knows where he's from and no one will ever know.
This is true.
Look, the cigarette turns me off. I am an energy drink fiend. I don't do the milk anymore because I can't.
See, I was always the milk guy.
Yeah, but at least I can go the energy drink guy. So
see, I was never the energy drink guy. The cigarette turns me off as well. And the pie or the sausage roll is always the pie or the sausage roll. But I think I'm inclined to agree with Janko here. The Anzac biscuit fought for our freedom to take
a dump during work hours.
To take a dump during work hours. To go to work and only have about 50% of your time actually used for work. The Anzac biscuit fought for that.
Yeah.
As you were saying before, the blood on the biscuit.
Yeah.
So iconic in Australia.
Timmy didn't charge us to no man's land and get obliterated by a fucking German artillery shell for no reason, so we could sit on the dunny during work hours.
The Anzac biscuit is a working man's biscuit. The tradies breakfast is
the non-working man's breakfast.
Yeah, the bludgers.
It's oh my god, there's a cloud in the sky. Better go down to the pokies.
All right, Anzac biscuit is moving on. As we move on to this breaks my heart.
Oh, okay.
Meat pies versus Tim Tams.
Wow.
My opinion's changed as I've gotten older. Because young, Tim Tam, but it's almost like it's going this way. Let's say I'm 35. Pie and Tim Tam are crossing here. Where the pie's like, well, I'm doing it the wrong way around. The pie's here. It's just, the older I get, the more I want the protein, the more I want the savoury, the more I want the pie. Tim Tam's a young game. I've got cavities. I've got missing teeth. I'm like, I enjoy it, but I can have one every once in a blue moon.
And if you buy a pack, you don't ever have one.
They're Pringles. Once you pop, you cannot stop. But a meat pie, even though it's not the best food in the world for you, it's got nutrients in it. Like, you got some meat. It's like, and you know,
fill you up.
Yeah.
You go to like a pie shop that does like the proper like steak one.
Exactly.
You got like a freaking crocodile pie, and it's just
a brisket and gravy pie. I had a buttered chicken pie. You know what? Sorry, Tim Tams. A buttered chicken pie that is made by a brewery or a smokehouse, and you get the brisket and gravy pie. A meat pie, but you get a specialty pie. That is a cuisine. That is king's meal.
I was on Tim Tams until you mentioned the steak pie, because I recently went down the South Coast for a little bit, and we stopped at a heritage bakery, a building that has been there since the 1800s, and I had the most fantastic pie of my life. It was just a good old plain chunky steak pie with some tomato sauce. Again, the Master Food squirt up, and it was delicious.
And you know what?
I love Tim Tams. I fucking froth over Tim Tams. But you give me a good meat pie, I'm happy, man.
And you know what? We're in our 30s. We watched a certain movie. We all know you can't fuck a Tim Tam.
I'd advise not fucking a Tim pie. A Tim pie. A meat pie. Tim Tams in meat pies. This new invention.
But that's the movie with the Stifler. They fuck the pie.
Yeah, exactly. Poor Tim pie.
If it's fresh out of the oven, I'd probably advise against it, because that should be hot. Meat pie,
it's always hot.
Beats out Tim Tams.
Yep.
As we move to pizza shapes versus Chico rolls.
Ooh. I think it's an easy one, actually.
I love Chico rolls.
So do I. I don't even know what's in them. Is it cabbage and shit?
I have no idea. I don't think I've ever actually looked inside a Chico roll and seen what's in it. There could be cats in there for all I know.
Pretty sure Chico roll was Australia's answer to the spring roll.
Spring roll, it was, yeah.
It's like essentially it's like a deep fried battered spring roll. It's pretty much what it is.
But it's got I think it's got like cabbage and it's very similar to a spring roll. Yeah. But somehow the hottest thing in the world you can put in your mouth if you get it from a servo. Jesus Christ. I don't know how they don't cool down. Yeah. They sit in a heat box for 7 hours, and it's like, cool, this is fresh out of the boiler. It's a nightmare.
I still think I'm going to give the edge to pizza shapes.
They're just so consistent.
Like I said, refreshing. I don't burn myself on a pizza shape.
Yeah.
You're never going to get hurt by a pizza shape. Pizza shapes will always love you, will always be there for you.
Yep.
Chico rolls, you don't know if you're going to get a cold one. You don't know if you're going to get a good one. You don't know if you're going to get one that's going to burn your taste buds off for 3 weeks.
If you, actually, I had a friend bit into a Chico roll that was obviously there for a bit too long, snapped a tooth in half. So, yep. Watched it happen. He went, boom, half a molar in his hand.
Pizza shapes, move on.
Yep.
And we are up to the last part of our quarterfinals. Shower beers versus gay time. Now, we didn't really clarify...
Well, we can have both.
We didn't really clarify what a gay time is. It's an ice cream. It's like nougat, and it's got these crumbly bits all over it. I don't know what it is. It's hard to describe what it is.
The hell is a gay time? Yeah.
But
I'm trying to think of it. It's a good
it's
night.
when a man and a man
Have a couple of shower beers.
When a man loves another man.
It's an iconic. It's an iconic Aussie ice cream in my
It's
opinion.
delicious. Let's it's kind of like it's honey crumble and caramel. That's what it is. It's chocolate with a honey crumble, so it's honeycomb, but it's stuck to it with a fine caramel.
Yeah.
Which, if you listen to that, yes, it's delicious as it sounds. It's unreal.
It's fantastic. I don't think I've ever had a bad one either.
No.
Like they're a thing like with pizza shapes, they're super consistent. Whereas shower beers, I think Americans have shower beers. British probably have I don't know if the British have showers or if they have
I think a gay time is also slightly British, but either. We're the convicts, so
we're basically the budget version of
gay
Timu version.
I think it's gay time that beats out shower beers.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm happy to move on. I'll have my shower beer. You two have a gay time. Next round.
Cool. All right, so we now are in the semi-finals. Now, this is where it gets interesting because this is where we have 3 things in a single bracket and only one can move on. So in our first bracket, we have the Anzac biscuit, the Bunnings snag, and the sausage roll.
Oh, shit. Wow. That's a doozy. Huh.
I think first thoughts, Bunnings snags and sausage roll are the 2 that are in contention. As much as I love a good Anzac biscuit, as we mentioned, getting one from one of your local supermarkets is not as satisfying. Whereas Bunnings snags and sausage rolls, almost always, 9 out of 10 times, they're going to be great. But which one?
Fair point.
Which one moves on to the finals?
Even the cheap party sausage rolls, good. A gourmet sausage roll.
Ones, they come in like the little squares.
And they're in threes, 3 squares,
yeah.
A Bunnings snag is a Bunnings snag, and but a sausage roll.
See, does something about the Bunnings snag being a time-limited thing, like you have to go somewhere to get it, it is an event to go get a Bunnings snag, does that make it more special, or does that make it less special?
No, you know what? At the same time, I've had sausage rolls outside of Australia. They're not the same. They make them differently.
Yeah.
They are a different texture. There are sausage rolls in every country, but the Australian ones, I'm not saying they're better, but they are definitely different.
They're iconic. They really are. Iconic. Are we in agreement that Anzac bickies are out?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
So it comes down to Bunnings
as much
snag.
as it pains me. Yeah, I think the other 2 are just... There's something more about them, more iconic. But the Anzac biscuit is still iconic, but it's just like... Again, the store-bought Anzac biscuits are definitely... Like, you get the packeted ones, rubbish. The Woolies made ones are actually not too bad.
They're
actually
not bad.
I actually quite like the Woolies ones. I gotta admit.
The bakery ones?
Yeah, Woolies Bakery,
And
Coles Bakery, same thing. They're actually like pretty decent. I like those. And then you've got like homemade, which is S tier, basically. So
100%.
Yeah.
That being said, I still think Bunnings snag and sausage roll goes over the top of it. And I love Bunnings snags. Absolutely love them. But do sausage rolls get the edge because you can save a party with that? Have you ever been to a place where there's like not enough food, like a house party or something like that, and then they crack out the sausage rolls
with little
little
things of sauce that you can dip in? Yeah,
that's a shared communal thing. Everybody gets around and has a sausage roll. Whereas the Bunnings snag, it's almost just like an insular experience. You go to Bunnings with yourself and your significant other.
And if you're at a party and someone has a good amount of sausage rolls versus a good amount of sausages on bread, sausage roll is probably going to win.
Yeah.
The sausage rolls always go, whereas the sausage sizzle sometimes...
Sausage sizzle will go. It depends on how good the cook is with making the onions with the beer.
True.
Yeah.
So, are we moving on sausage rolls?
I think so.
unexpected, but sausage rolls go on to the finals, and it will face either the gay time, the pizza shapes, or the meat pie.
Okay. Out of all three, I think I would eliminate the gay time between those.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so all three of us.
Gay time wins best dessert, I guess. Australian dessert. You got the furthest.
Yeah, I got furthest as dessert, so I guess that's title. But then between the three of us, it looks like we've narrowed it down to two, which makes it a bit easier now. So this is the finalists, right? So
this is what is going on to fight sausage rolls.
Okay, so we've got meat pie and pizza shapes. Okay.
I think for me, it's the meat pie.
There's so much variety. You can have a pizza meat pie. You can have a curry meat pie. You can have the brisket and gravy meat pie. You can have a American cheeseburger. I had an American cheeseburger meat pie the other day. Changed my life. Pizza shapes are an amazing snack, but they don't make me hard.
That's fair.
That is.
Whereas a meat pie, given that you've watched American Pie, that pie can do a lot of things for you.
Makes your meat hard. Yep.
I think it's the meat pie. I think this is actually a pretty clear-cut bracket. Pizza shapes are good. They're A tier, definitely. And I feel like they have deserved to move on as far as they have. But meat pies are in another tier. They're another level above. I think even a bad meat pie is still good in a weird way.
The no-name meat pies, like I think the Black and Gold or Snowy River Mountain, like they're still awesome.
Yeah.
I stock 420 protein traveler pies. They're lower carb, lower fat, higher protein. I have one for breakfast every day. Like meat pies are the shit.
Yeah.
So are we all unanimously agreeing meat pies?
Yeah.
I think so. Yep.
Alrighty. It has come down to this, ladies and gentlemen. Almost an hour into this tournament. We have the sausage roll versus the meat pie.
That's the meat pie.
You know what? This is humbling. This is kind of what it should have been all along. I didn't think these two were going to get to the finals, but the fact that they're facing each other, this is like Mike Tyson versus Muhammad Ali. It's kind of like, it never should have happened, but it's happening now.
Yep.
Two absolute icons, and they share some similarities as well. They are both a pastry filled with meat. They both have versatility. They both are paired better with the Master Foods squirter sauce, always. But really, which one do you reach for? When you go to the servo and they've got the choice of both there, which one do you go for? When you go to a classic bakery, do you want the sausage roll or do you want the meat pie? This is...
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one. Tough.
They're very situational. Like if I need to like road trip and drive, I prefer the sausage roll because I know I'm not going to get the inner ingredients all over myself. There's a convenience. It's a tasty meat tube with pastry on it, easy to hold, that sort of thing. But then you have the pie, which is one of those things where you go on your road trip, you want to stretch your legs, you actually go to the bakery, sit down, and you can enjoy that properly made pie. They're two different experiences. It's just which one outweighs is more iconic than the other, I think.
It's interesting because you can do a lot more with a pie. Like I said, butter chicken pie, like a pizza pie, a cheeseburger pie. You can do things, and don't get me wrong, the sausage roll I had the other weekend from Full Throttle, the jalapeno and cheese sausage roll, best sausage roll I've ever had in my life. Like I dream of it. But I've also had their pies. I've had their brisket and gravy, I've had cheeseburger pie, I've had their butter chicken pie. It's equally as good.
I have made homemade sausage rolls. Like I've made pork and fennel homemade sausage roll, chorizo homemade sausage rolls, and they are just another level. But I've also made some great pies. I remember Janko, well back in the day, one time we got some bacon. We got one of those family-sized pies, put it in the oven, cut the top off, put the bacon in there, put the cheese in there. And it was absolutely fantastic. This is a tough choice.
Yeah.
This is a real tough choice. And if I had to narrow it down, like you said, if you're driving, sausage roll is the more convenient option. They do have traveler's pies now, but I feel like traveler's pies aren't quite the same height as the humble meat pie.
Yeah.
But if somebody sat down one in front of me, which would I rather have? And I'm going to cast the first vote.
Mm-hmm.
This is so hard.
You can do
I think it's the sausage roll.
Sausage roll.
I was going to go meat pie there for a second, but the sausage roll is more reliable in certain situations. Like you said, you can sit down and eat a pie, but you can't drive and eat a pie. You can't walk and eat a pie. If you're sitting at work, it's inconvenient to eat a pie as well. Whereas a sausage roll, you can just grab it, have a little chomp on it, put it back down on your plate, dust the flakes off your keyboard, get back to work.
I'm going to counter argue, even though it seemed like I was team sausage roll, a meat pie is an Australian delicacy at this point. You need to sit down. You need to appreciate it. There's so many things you can do with it. It's so rich and meaty. And the gravy. That's one thing you don't get from a sausage roll is the gravy. You get a bit of gravy in your mouth. Like, it's an experience you don't get anywhere. You can eat it with your hands. You can sit down and eat it with a knife and fork and be fancy. You're not going to sit down with a knife and fork with a sausage roll. If you do that, you look weird. Yeah. But you can do it with a pie. It's acceptable. You can put potato on a pie. You can put peas on a pie. You get your veggies in. It's something you can't do with a sausage roll. And if you do, it's weird. Like, it's just one of those things. Like I said, you make love to the pie. You probably make love to the sausage roll. Not me, but maybe other people could. Well, yeah, I guess fleshlight maybe. But there's a good sausage roll is amazing, and I love an amazing sausage roll. But the possibilities with meat pie endless.
Yep.
Deciding factor.
All right.
Janko. It all rests on your shoulders.
I am basing my vote off what is making me salivate while we're talking right now. Just thinking about it. And it's the meat pie.
Oh!
I've had far more pleasurable experiences with meat pie, and literally, like, my mouth is watering right now thinking.
You know what? Now that you're saying that, and as you mentioned, a top tier meat pie is a delicacy.
Yep.
I think I have to change my vote to meat pie as well.
I'm also changing my vote ever since I mentioned fleshlight. Sausage roll is the way to go.
So meat pie is my vote. It's just when you get that proper good pie, it's just, I don't know, just something about, like, I'm just thinking about the pies that I've had in the past, and literally my mouth is filling with saliva right now, just wanting to devour them
as well.
Right now.
I want to go to town on that pie like I would go to town on an ass.
I want to grab that pie.
They made like 27 movies about a pie, American something. But yeah,
sequel Australian Pie. Yes, let's make it happen.
Guy burns his dick off in the first 2 minutes of the movie. Credits roll.
My dick, and that's it.
So there we have it. The meat pie is crowned the most iconic Australian snack. There were some interesting things in there. I didn't think Vegemite toast was going to be eliminated so early, but I'm kind of happy that it did. But we ended up with the meat pie, and fellas, I think we made the right choice.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go have a shower beer. Fuck yes.
But I do want to hear everybody else's opinion as well. So in the comments, on Insta, all the socials, everything like that, let us know what you think is the most iconic Aussie snack food. And if we missed anything, because I'm pretty sure we may have missed some stuff. There was 24 items here, but there probably could have been plenty more. So that is it for this episode. Do all the things with the socials and all the intro, the stuff at the bottom. Sounds like Jai is having a shower beer, and I think we all need to go have a shower beer after that. So that is us signing off for the NerdFlow. We will see you guys next time.
See you next time.
Shower beer.
Woo!